the Denver Broncos, and the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer and Max Gershon. This is Rocket 1025 KKCI FM, Goodland, Colby, an NWKS radio station.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. Belt tightening at the U.S. Department of Education. More than 1,300 employees will be laid off as the Trump administration works toward cutting the agency's staff in half and ultimately eliminating the agency. New study shows some $1 trillion in federal funds were used to advance the DEI agenda under President Biden's watch. House Republicans have passed and are sending the Senate a Trump-endorsed funding bill to avert a partial government shutdown at week's end. 25-year-old man is in the hospital in stable condition following a fight among a group of people, and shots fired early this morning happened outside a terminal at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. There have been no word of any arrests. On Wall Street, stock futures sharply higher ahead of the opening bell. Dow futures up 242 points. Nasdaq futures ahead 195. This is SRN News.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But what if you could get both? Why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied too. And we know this from research of members. There's a lot they like about MediShare, but especially they love being part of something they believe in. And MediShare works too. It has for more than 30 years. There are hundreds of thousands of members who love having telehealth if they need it. They love the huge PPO network. So yeah, really, you could save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or you're part of the gig economy or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Here is the latest news and information that impacts you. I'm Derek White. Travel will be challenging around Hays as the Kansas Department of Transportation closed both directions of I-70 at exit 157 yesterday. They will be rebuilding the overpass of Highway 183 and I-70. The detour for both directions will use the exit and entrance ramps at that location. The construction is expected to take 7 working days to complete. The Kansas Wrestling Coaches Association has announced their high school seniors that will be participating in this year's Shrine Duels. From Northwest Kansas, Atavia Kane and Carter Cryer from Oakley, Isabella Garrity, Brennan Fanninsteel, and Colton Stover from Norton, Destiny Gonzalez from Goodland, Ashlyn Rose from Scott City, Duncan Bell, Easton Nicholson, and Samuel Watkins from Hoxie, Tate Blackwell from Quinter, and Shane Todd from St. Francis will all be competing March 29th at the Newman University campus. Recently, NWKS Radio sat down with Colby Public Schools high school principal Matt Sims. In regards to a potential 4-day school week next year, Matt, how long would a school day last?
Currently, we go from 8 o'clock. Our student goes from 8 o'clock to 3:30, and that day would be extended to 4:05. So it would run from 8 o'clock to 4:05. That additional 30 minutes has been talked about. Do we add more minutes to a class? Or I think we probably do like Mrs. Gay spoke to, and we allocate those minutes to help with remediation or support of students that are needed. I would indicate that if we stayed on the current calendar that we have, we're probably going to figure out a way to carve out some minutes of our class time anyway to make a structure like this. So we're either losing 6 minutes of class in a 5-day week, or we're going to stay with a 50-minute class and then add 30 additional support minutes.
For more information on this and other stories, visit nwksradio.net.
Rocket 1025.
Today's going to be mostly sunny with the north-northwesterly breeze at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Highs will top out in the 70 to 75 degree range. And then those winds will turn to the south-southwest overnight at 5 to 15 with overnight lows in the middle 30s. Tomorrow the winds will pick up from the south at 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting 40 to 45. Thus we have a red flag warning in place. Highs will be in that 70 to 80 degree range. Overnight lows will be around 40. And then for Friday, that intense low pressure system will swing through. The south winds will turn to the north in the afternoon, gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour. Thus, a high wind watch is in place for our counties to the east in Colorado. A wraparound rain and snow mix west of Highways 25 could pick up a quarter to half inch of precipitation. And then there could be some blowing dust to the east and south of I-70. It's meteorologist Chris Schromick reporting from the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Farmers, what do you expect from your crop insurance agent and company? Knowledge? Service? Peace of mind knowing you have the coverage you need for your operation? This is what you deserve and more. This is what you have with Rain and Hail Insurance and the girls at the insurance agency in Goodland. Now is the time to stop by the office to review and change your coverage before the March 15th deadline. Stop in and see Roxanne, Susan, and Judy at the insurance agency, located at 1020 Main in Goodland, or call 899-5011 for your peace of mind.
Get ready for the Schilling Cattle Production Sale Wednesday, March 26th at 1 p.m. Central Time. With 60 Angus and 5 Limflex bulls and 10 Angus heifers, there's plenty to choose from. These are big, stout performance kind of cattle and great selection for calving ease bulls. Check them out on Facebook at Schilling Cattle, or you can also watch the sale at TV Auction. The sale is located 6 miles north of the I-70 Exchange in Brewster, Kansas. Come check out great cattle, meet great people, and best of all, eat some fantastic food. So don't forget to mark your calendars for the Schilling Cattle Production Sale Wednesday, March 26th, 6 miles north of Brewster, Kansas.
Goodland Furniture and Sleep Center is your home for no interest for up to 18 months. They have it all: furniture, mattresses, appliances, plus the lowest price guarantee. Delivery is available. Find your comfort at home with Goodland Furniture and Sleep Center with no interest for up to 18 months. Located on 17th Street in Goodland, Kansas, and around the world at goodlandfurniture.com.
At FNB Bank, we know family comes first. Whether you're opening a savings account for your kids, buying a new home, or planning for the future, we're here to help every step of the way. With personalized service and flexible options, we make banking easy for your growing family. FNB Bank, serving families, strengthening communities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Grow your business with Miller Construction Services, LLC in Goodland. They specialize in commercial construction and are your local independent authorized builder for Chief Buildings. Get your planning and project underway now. Call Matt at 785-899-5231. Whatever your commercial needs are, contact Miller Construction Services, licensed and bonded general contractors. Visit millercs.com. millercs.com.
Out with the old, in with the new. It's time to refresh our inventory at Zimmelman's Jewelry in downtown Burlington, and that means you save big. For the month of March, all Frederick Duclos and Anya High jewelry is 50% off. Whether you're looking for sleek, modern elegance or bold statement pieces, we've got the perfect sparkle to match your vibe. Now is the perfect time to refresh your style with stunning jewelry from Frederick Duclos and Anya High. Treat yourself to something fresh, something fabulous, something you. Shop in-store Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or online at Zimmelman'sJewelry.com.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out their great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
And Max Gershon.
Look at their schedule, folks. They played no one, and they never do to start the year until they play Kansas. They get these Mickey Mouse wins out of their ways.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Rocket 102.5 and streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
They're basically idiots.
Covering it all from the preps.
Up ahead to Blair Lennon. Lennon, the crossover, back to Cure. Hello, boom! A two-handed tomahawk flush.
To the pros.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Protection is good. Bold loads it up. He's got it. A receiver there. Franklin makes the catch. In the end zone, touchdown Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with the insurance agency, the Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Elijah at the foul line. Left side, kick out to Andre for three. Right between the eyes from downtown. That is 4 3-pointers in the second half by Andre Yakimovsky. And Dak tips it over to Ruffin, who makes the grab, and the game's over. Number 16 knocks off number 9 in the opening round of the Big 12 Conference Tournament, and the Buffaloes survive and advance.
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Took Hassan, layup, good, and an and one. What a play by the Wildcats. Arizona State's going to back off. Maxwell dribbled it out, and the Wildcats have won their first game in Kansas City.
Pacers down 3. Halliburton's got the ball. Halliburton rises. Oh, my goodness! Tyrese Halliburton hits a 3 and is fouled. You have got to be kidding me.
Welcome to the busiest time of the year. It's pretty darn close when it comes to sports. I mean, honestly, if you love basketball, this is the time to be watching because you can sit down at 10:30 in the morning and pretty much watch basketball until you fall asleep past midnight if you would like to. It is the busiest time of the year with tournament basketball going on. And now, of course, we've reached Wednesday. So that means like all the other tournaments, the SEC and the Big Ten are all going to get rolling. And there, of course, the NBA continues to roll. It's the busiest time. And then, of course, there's high school state tournament basketball. It doesn't get any busier than this, Max, if you love the hardwood.
You're absolutely right. And I do love the hardwood. So this is one of my favorite seasons of the year, months of the sports calendar. It's just one of those months where you're not going to get much done. You're just going to sit down and watch some great hoops. And I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight and excited for the rest of March Madness. It truly is madness.
Are you donning your new shirt today?
I am.
There we go.
So shout out Miss Volkmer, the queen of the Volkmer household, for getting me this T-shirt. She stopped by my setup on Saturday in Scott City and was like, "Why are you wearing your orange and black?" And I'm like, I don't have any orange and black. I haven't been given any orange and black merchandise. And she said, well, that's going to change. And she is a woman of her word. As I had T-shirts at my office, I had this quarter zip and then another collared shirt at my office by yesterday. So props to her.
Now you
I
look
appreciate it.
Now you look.
I do. Right.
So
and they know who I am when I walk in. So that's more important.
You know who he's affiliated with.
Right.
Well, anyway, glad that you are with us here on a Wednesday morning. So much to get to. We're going to continue to talk some NFL free agency as that time continues to remain hot with our good friend Nick Athen of Chiefs Blitz. I also saw some big news this morning that Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes' contracts have been reworked. And so Chiefs have created more cap space. And we'll get thoughts on that with Nick Athen, our good friend, coming up here in about 20 to 25 minutes or so from now. We'll get to some other topics throughout the show as we usually do. It just depends on where the show goes. As always, if you'd like to chime in throughout the show, we'd love to hear from you on the F&B Bank text line at 785-899-2222, or you can chime in on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream, Facebook, X, as well as YouTube. You are able to get on there and make your comments like producer Papa Gersh is. He almost saw 2 hole-in-ones last day. Apparently your dad was he was stick hunting yesterday.
He did. He played well yesterday, I heard. I have a question for any texters that want to answer. This is a trivia question of the day here on a Wednesday. We don't have a trivia sound.
I don't.
Okay, we'll have to work on that. But
when you're a one-man show, when you ask trivia and no one answers, what are you going to sound like?
Right. But this is okay. So if you are a member of the Gershon family, you are banned from answering this question because I feel like they might know it. So I want anyone besides my family that is watching to answer this. But
I'm open for this. All right.
The three safeties since 2018 that have left the Chiefs to go play for the Saints.
Justin Reed.
Yep.
After that, I don't know how far back I got to go, and if I could even name any of them.
There's one more big one.
Yeah, I'm not going to get it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get that one. We'll see at the FB Bank text.
See if anyone else can get that one. That's 3 of them. There's been 3 of them.
It's the trivia question of the day. Wonder why they want to go to New Orleans. Wonder why that is.
I don't know, but the 3 safeties that have left the Chiefs and
Tyrann Mathieu, someone texted in. Tyrann,
there's the other one.
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger's one, and then there's one more that has been to the Saints. That was a safety for the Chiefs. That was a You know, he had some heroic moments and he had some really bad moments as a Kansas City Chief. This safety did. So
Listener
we'll see if anyone else
Andy,
can get
by the
that
way,
one.
Andy gets credit for the Tyrann Mathieu trivia question there. Thanks, Andy.
There you go. Shout out to Andy. But there's one more. See if anyone can get it throughout the show.
Yeah, we'll see. So we'll ask that. Well, I bet Nick Athen knows it off the top.
Oh,
of
Nick
his
Athen
head.
will know that one. Nick Athen will know.
As I mentioned, though, as much as free agency and NFL football is going on, I mean, it is a basketball week going on right now. So much going on. First and foremost, congratulations. I know it was a loss, but congratulations to the Colby Community College women's basketball team. They went to Hutch last night and fell in the second round of the Region 6 tournament by 10, 59-49. First and foremost, a very low-scoring game. They played their guts out. They actually led, I think, by 1 at halftime. Like, they were in this game. And then I think going into the fourth quarter, they were down by 1. And so they were right in this thing. But give Hutch credit. They're on their home floor. They made a couple of threes, and they also made their free throws down the stretch to get the win for over Colby Community College. Ashante Suttington, who, by the way, was a former Hutch Dragon, she led Colby with a game-high 21 points in the loss. But here, to me, is the biggest stat on this. Lady Trojan, in their season, at 16-16 overall. That right there is a 8-win improvement. That means they doubled their wins from a season ago. They went from what was just an 8-22 team to a 16-16 team in just one season, year number 2. For Darren Spence. So congratulations to Colby Community College women's basketball. That's a really nice story right there. That a couple of years ago, that program barely could win a game or two. And he's come back and he has done a heck of a job leading that program to now 16-16. And he's going to continue to get more talented players, right? If it's Logan Nolan or other pieces from around the region and outside the state. And they're going to continue to get better and better and better. They'll probably eclipse the 20-win mark next year, I would assume. So congratulations to Colby Community College women on a very nice win. Also, upset yesterday, Colorado. I don't know how they did it. Colorado upset TCU 69-67. I didn't think it would happen. They beat TCU by 20 on Saturday. Turn around and play them in the first round of the Big 12 tournament again, and they beat them again. I didn't think that would be possible. I mean, I didn't think it'd be likely, I should say. I knew it was possible, but Andre Yakimovsky, 18 points. Julian Hammond added 16. Colorado went 4 for 4 from the foul line down the stretch in the final 20 seconds to get the win. And so Colorado, despite the horrific season that they've had they're moving on to the second round of the Big 12 tournament. Still a long ways away from making it deeper. They got to take on 8 seed West Virginia. But I'm not going to put it past them that they couldn't win that game.
No.
There's always an advantage. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Even though you have to go a long ways in the tournament, there is an advantage to getting a win in that first round before you play the next round. I have seen many teams that are way less talented go into a tournament as that low 16, 15 seed and then find a way to pick up a couple of wins, make it all the way to the quarters or the semifinals before getting knocked out.
I like this Colorado team. I do. For their record, I think that they're more talented than their record shows. And I think they'll make it close against West Virginia. I really do. And I think that does give them a big advantage playing that game. Didn't I say they were going to win yesterday in the show? I feel like I did. I think I did. I thought I didn't.
I'll give you credit.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. They've got some good pieces to this team. I don't know. I really don't know much about them, but just from what I've watched them play against KU, and they've played KU close a lot this season. So, shout out to the Buffs, moving on and beating TCU. It's tough to beat a team back-to-back like that, but they're making their way through the tournament, at least for round 1. So shout out the Buffs.
We get to hear the voice of God continue to serenade us in the morning. Mark Johnson, radio voice of the Colorado Buffaloes. God, he's got an amazing voice.
Does have a good voice.
How jealous I am of him. Also last night, K-State gets a win behind a season-high 26 points from David Gasson. As the Wildcats get a late 3-point play, as you heard on the highlights from David Gasson, to edge Arizona State 71-66. Kansas State had a 10 to 12 point lead in that game, kind of blew it down to 6. But give credit, Kansas State gets it done when it was done. Coleman Hawkins, though, very, very good in this game. Like I said, 26 points. He did it all, as he usually does, whether that's blocking shots, rebounding, assists. Coleman Hawkins did it all. He was the star in that game, playing up to the amount of money he's probably getting paid to be at Kansas State. Nonetheless, they get a first-round win. Doug McDaniel, had 14. Max Jones, Brennan Hassan each scored 10. K-State now moving on to take on number 7 seed and VJ Edgecombe Baylor tonight at 6 o'clock Central Time on ESPN Plus, as well as AM 790 KXXX. You listen to the Kansas State Wildcats tonight as they game going. Yeah.
Yeah, Coleman Hawkins, I mean, I think he had like 19 of the first like 31 points for K-State. It was something ridiculous. He got off to an incredible start in the first half. I tell you what, I don't know anyone that would want to play this K-State team. I know it's been streaky and it's not the season they've wanted, but in this tournament, they're still, fighting for their lives, and they feel like they have the talent that they can beat anyone when they're hot and when they're right. So, I don't know. How are you feeling about tonight's game? I kind of feel pretty confident K-State's going to pull off this upset tonight.
I don't think Baylor is an honestly, the path for Kansas State is not insurmountable. Like not. I don't want to, like the other side, they're not on the side of the bracket with Houston, where I do feel like that is kind of an insurmountable hill to climb. BYU, I think, maybe has the best chance of knocking out Houston because they can really shoot it. And that's what I think. You really have to knock down a lot of outside shots to knock off Houston because they're going to beat you up inside physically. But K-State has to get past Baylor, which will not be easy. And they got Texas Tech, which will not be easy, but I don't think it's impossible.
Definitely
You're
not.
waiting probably the Kansas-Arizona winner. We'll just say that for right now. In the semi, like I said, it's not impossible. And once again, as I mentioned with Colorado, you get that first win out of the way, and that other team is just beginning their play after being off for a few games, and you've got a little bit of momentum. That can be an advantage there for Kansas State. So we'll see how this all turns out. There's a good look at the bracket on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. But, yeah, you've got you're going to have today, you got Cincinnati, Iowa State, Colorado, West Virginia, and then in the evening session, Kansas State, Baylor, and UCF-KU. You going to stay up and watch that KU game tonight? Probably.
Yeah.
Hotel. You'll be up.
I'll be in the hotel. I'll be chilling, hopefully after a win from the Lady Eagles. But, I think that how fun it would be if we saw a K-State semifinal matchup in this Big 12 tournament. That would be in KC.
Oh, yeah.
In KC. Oh, my gosh. That would be so fun. We got to make that happen, K-State. Can we get a couple wins in here? I mean, KU obviously has to win tonight.
Doesn't KU have to do their part too?
KU has to do their part, and they just beat Arizona. We were talking about Colorado having to beat TCU twice in a row. KU just beat Arizona. It's kind of tough for Arizona because they just played KU at Allen Fieldhouse, and now they're playing KU in Kansas City, which, I mean, the home field advantage is not exactly the same, but it's pretty close playing at the Sprint Center for KU against KU. Have you ever been to a Sprint Center Big 12 tournament game or tournament game at all?
Not been to a Big 12 tournament game inside the Sprint Center, no. I went and saw AC/DC and Van Halen, though.
Okay. There you go. Well, I saw Drake and Migos at the Sprint Center for talking concerts, but I saw me and my friends went to the championship game when it was Cade Cunningham versus Jericho Sims and that Texas squad. That was a really good Big 12 championship game. And then I saw KU when I was young. Like, this was the Relaford brothers and the Whiffy and those days at KU. They played at the Sprint Center in the tournament against North Carolina that year and got a win. That was electric. I'll never forget that. That's a core memory. But
the only college basketball that I have seen outside of Division II basketball, so only Division I basketball I've seen in Kansas City was in was it the early 2000s or late 90s? Probably early 2000s, like 2001. Actually, it might have been late 90s. Anyway, it was the NCAA tournament first round at Kemper Arena.
Oh, yeah.
I was there. Me and my cousins
went. What game was it?
Oh, I remember Arizona was there. Notre Dame was there. I don't know what games they were. I just remember those were some of the teams there. The thing that I remember the most, because, we were kids, and it was the time, and you're going to remember, this is going to date you, but other people know it. Anybody remember when Nike had the Shox shoes? The Shox and the heels, the Nike Shox. They had their basketball shoes with they look like little tiny springs to an extent in the heels. Look them up on for yourself, Max. But the Nike Shox shoes,
Nike Shox.
Yeah, I think it's SHOX. I think it's how they spelled it.
Oh, okay.
Nike Shox shoes, and they had those shoes, and I just remember those were the new cool sweet thing, and all the Arizona players had them. Like,
the
check out, they
shocks
got the shocks.
with the little things on the bottom.
Yeah, little things on the heels. Yep.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was the thing when we were growing up at that time. That was pretty cool. But yeah, 4 games today. We'll see what happens with the Big 12 Conference Tournament. It's also a very busy day, of course, in state tournament basketball as it gets rolling for 3 of our area teams. The Sharon Springs Wallace County Lady Wildcats begin play today. So do the Quinter Lady Bulldogs, and of course the Colby Lady Eagles. This, of course, Wallace County. How cool is this? They only got to drive an hour at most to play in the state tournament. Usually they're the ones driving across the state all the way to Emporia or something along those lines. No, they get to stay close to home. And instead, Hanover, who their opponent is at 20-2, will have to come all the way across the state to play at the event center. So Wallace County and Hanover in the 3-6 game. On paper, who knows what to expect you don't know what to expect on these tournament games. That's the thing. You just don't know what to expect. And that's what makes it interesting when you get when the games start playing and who can win and who advances. It's fascinating. We'll get more on that in just a second, but it's a 3-6 game at 8:00 Central Time tonight, 7:00 Mountain Time. Wallace County and Hanover in the 3-6 game on girls 1A Division 2. They will play the winner of that game will play Lebo and Hodgman County winner. And of course, Hodgman County knocked out Shylin last week. In Class 1A D1 and their girls bracket, that's where the Quinter Lady Bulldogs are. They're the 5 seed. They'll play the 4 seed, 21-2 Montezuma South Gray. That is also an 8:00 Central Time tip tonight. And they will play the winner of either the top seed or an upset-minded 8 seed. That'd be Little River or Colony Crest. More than likely Little River. Those who they will play if they advance past Montezuma South Gray in that 4-5 game tonight at 8:00. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, in 3A girls basketball, the Colby Lady Eagles will play at the early time, a very early start of 4:00 Central Time. They are the 6 seed at 21-2, taking on the 3 seed, 22-1 Osage City. Do you have any info on Osage City for us at all in any way, shape, or form? What do you got?
I do have a little bit. So from everything I've understood, Kate Boss is their coach, and their best player is
Boss is her last name?
Boss, yes. And there's 3 bosses. And actually, I think the guy's coach's name is, or they're not the guy's coach, but they have a son that plays on the boys team named Boss as well. So there's like 5 bosses
what a boss
in this
family
in the Osage City basketball program over there. But from everything I've understood is that Kaylin Boss there is a freshman and is her daughter and is their best player, at least scoring the basketball. She's a talented freshman. I think averaged around 20 points a game, maybe a little over 20 points a game.
That's a lot for a freshman.
But they've got some seniors mixed in there as well as another boss and Lexi Boss, Sadie Shoemaker. So it's going to be that it's a smaller roster than I think some teams that the Eagles have played this year, but that doesn't mean anything. And we'll see. That's really as far as my knowledge goes. I know a little bit more about the coach that she played at Johnson County Community College back in my neck of the woods and won a junior college championship in 2000. So, she's obviously has the experience, and it'll be interesting to see because it's state basketball and first time for a lot of these players playing in something like this. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited to get out there and excited to see how Coach Walker game plans his team to hopefully win their first state game in the schools, in a long time. I'll say that in a long time.
Yeah, let's see. It was not the last time they went in 2011, they lost
right
in the first round. So
that's something I've been trying to figure out when the last time they actually won would have been.
He'll have to go back and you have to do some searching there in the annuals of the Keisha handbook there.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. It wasn't that long ago, honestly. Parker McKee, former boys head coach there for Colby, friend of the program. He led them to some wins, probably back in like 2008, 2009 would be my guess. Have to go back.
If anyone knows, feel free to text us or
someone knows.
Someone's got to pop up here. Come on, guys.
Anyway, FNB Bank text line 785-899-2222. Here's the thing about these first round matchups that I want to, and I'll tell this again tomorrow on the program. Here's the thing that stands out to me about these matchups. You don't really know who like. I'm gonna start with like Wallace County, Hanover, for example, in Colby. Like, look, record-wise and, of course, seed-wise, you're going to say Hanover's the favorite. And honestly, Hanover is a really good program. I mean, that is a powerhouse program that has won a lot of basketball games over the course of their time. They've had some really good players, usually led by like the Bruna family, I think is who that is. They're usually very, very talented group of that family is very talented and athletic, of the Bruna family in Hanover. And so that'll be a tough game for Wallace County. But I tell you one thing, they're going to have a great crowd on hand because they didn't have to travel very far. I bet the whole town of Sharon Springs and surrounding area shows up to root them on. So I bet they'll have a great crowd, and that could be, once again, that can play a little bit of a factor. And I don't know if Wallace County has this year or even recently, but you would think they might have played in that gym at least once, whether it's summer league or something. So at least they have an idea. Hanover hasn't. So maybe that's the equaling factor in that game. I don't know what to expect. Hanover, though, I know is a very tough program and has been consistently good for a long time. It's usually a team that you do see at the state tournament. Kind of the same thing on the girls 1A side, because South Gray is a pretty good program. At least their boys has been good for a long time, but they've got a really good program. But Quinter's had a great year. They're kind of playing with some house money going into this. You just don't know. And it's the 4-5 game, which is pretty much just a coin flip game. So you really don't know what to expect in that one. So sometimes it just depends on, who kind of has that early momentum, who can get that momentum going early, and get that confidence going early. And so we'll just see how that plays out. And then, from the side of the Colby Osage City, and these are just my personal thoughts on this, and Max has done once again a little bit more research on Osage City than I have, but here's the thing. Teams that play in the here's the thing about when, at least I think I've learned from covering some state tournament basketball from Goodland's perspective for the past few years. There is not a lot. I don't know if there is at the 3A level. There might be one other, but there are not many other leagues that are as tough as the GWAC. What you have to do night in and night out to get a win in this league is very, very challenging. Doesn't matter who you play. It is very challenging to get a win in this GWAC league. And there are a lot of teams around the state, when they get to this tournament, and you see these 23-0 records, these 22-1 records. I would bet that probably 8 to 10 of those games were probably just gimme games. They were games they probably won running away. The competition from top to bottom in these teams' leagues is not as competitive as it is in the GWAC. And so that's what I'm always fascinated to see, because Colby might have a lower seed, might have just a little bit worse of a record, but I bet you they've played a tougher schedule than Osage City. And I'm not trying to throw shade on Osage City in any way, shape, or form, but I would just bet that Colby's played a tougher schedule, and they could go into that game and you could see Colby kind of take it to them early, and then Osage, then we'll see what happens after that. But that's the biggest thing that I've learned over the time, is that there's a lot of teams, particularly when you play teams from the very southeast corner of the state. They do not play as tough a competition as teams in the western part of the state, in the middle part of the state around Salina and Wichita, your southeast of Saline's and programs like that play, your Hestons, which is the #1 seed. And I can guarantee you they're for real. They're really good. I saw them last year, and they'll have a humongous crowd because it's not very far for them to go to watch their team play. So, but like I said, that first round game against Osage City, I would feel pretty decent if I'm Colby, because I think you've been more tested in your season than probably Osage City has been, and we'll see how it all pans out when you actually get on the hardwood. It comes down to, of course, stopping teams and making shots, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah, and I've been looking at their max preps. Obviously, the Lady Eagles are higher ranked on max preps, for whatever that means. Just putting that out there. I think it's 10 for Colby and 16 for Osage City, something around that area. And Osage only won 2 games this year. The only 2 wins were relatively close, and when I mean relatively close, I mean under 10 points. So they really blew everyone out of the water to get to this point.
Yeah, and so then the point is, when you get in a game where you get sucker punched in the face, how do you respond? Because you haven't been doing that.
And Colby has played in closer games. Obviously, I mean, it was pretty close against Goodland really throughout the whole game, and then the Scott City game to end the year was the closest of them all. So I think I definitely agree with you. I think the Lady Eagles are definitely more battle tested than this Osage City team, whose only loss was to Lebo. I don't know where that is, who that is. Have you ever heard of that high school?
Yes,
Lebo?
I've heard of Lebo. Yep.
Where is that?
I don't know,
You
if I
where
can
that's
put on,
at?
I don't know if I could put it on a map for you.
Regardless,
in the southeast part of the state.
that is their only loss, and they lost by 13, 51 to 38. So
I'm telling you what, I'll make it. I'm going to take a stab here. I'm going to guess that Lebo might be in the 2A girls tournament. Nope, I'm wrong.
No?
So I don't know what we will see.
Yeah.
What happens? You don't know till you get out on the floor, and you kind of get playing and you get going. And of course, it's a new environment for some of these teams. We'll see what happens, but I do feel confident that once again, even including Holcomb, who's once again up against Hessen, which I do think Hessen though is very well tested and a good basketball program. I think you'll see that there are teams out there that are really that haven't played the consistent competition that the teams out here have played, and that could be an advantage for those teams like Colby, Holcomb, Goodland boys, for example. Don't get me wrong, the teams you're facing are talented, but they maybe have not played. Thank you, Coach Reese. Lebo.
Coach Walker just texted me. Lebo is 1A.
1A D2.
And they are in the state tournament in Colby.
Did I miss that? Why did I miss that? I've got the girls up here. I don't see Lebo.
In the tournament against Colby?
Oh, that's 1A D1. I got to look. Where's 1A D2? There we go. Yeah, they're 20 and 2. They're the 2 seed.
Okay, there you go. Shout out Lebo.
Shout out Coach Walker, Coach Reese. Thank you very much. Pull your
Coaches are on their game.
As they should be. All right. There you go. So that's state basketball. Be very fascinating to see how it all shakes out. Once again, Max will have coverage on 100 Point Through the Ride. Starting at what time? What random time are we starting pregame today?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I have no idea. That's the one thing I got to do before I leave is figure out. Well, I'm going to
tune in 30 minutes.
You know what? This is probably on the pregame show right now. What you're hearing right now, this conversation is probably on 100.3 The Ride about 15 minutes before the game starts, because I'm probably going to clip up this and have it as one of the segments.
I guess if you want to listen to this absolutely fantastic conversation,
riveting
conversation, you can tune in probably 30 minutes before tip, or just tune in at tip and catch the action if you want to. So
you can.
Good luck to Colby, Wallace County Lady Wildcats, and of course the Quinter Lady Bulldogs, all in action today in the Acacia State basketball tournaments. All right, we got to get to a break. We'll come back. Nick Athen's going to join us. We'll talk to him about some NFL free agency. You're listening to a Wednesday edition of the Morning Blitz.
Get ready for the Schilling Cattle Production Sale Wednesday, March 26th at 1 p.m. Central Time. With 60 Angus and 5 Limflex bulls and 10 Angus heifers, there's plenty to choose from. These are big, stout performance kind of cattle and great selection for Cavanese bulls. Check them out on Facebook at Schilling Cattle, or you can also watch the sale at TV Auction. The sale is located 6 miles north of the I-70 exchange in Brewster, Kansas. Come check out great cattle, meet great people, and best of all, eat some fantastic food. So don't forget to mark your calendars for the Schilling Cattle Production Sale Wednesday, March 26th, 6 miles north of Brewster, Kansas.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning, this is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Wednesday, March 12th. On the overnight last night, made corn lower 9 cents at 4.61 1/4. July down 9 1/4 at 4.67 3/4. September down 6 at 4.43 3/4. December corn down 5 cents at 4.49 1/2. May soybeans down 9 1/4 on the overnight at 10.02. July down 8 1/2 at 10.17. August down 8 1/2 at 10.14 3/4. September beans down 8 1/4 at 10.02 1/2. Chicago wheat, the May contract lower 2 1/4 at 5.54 1/2. July down 2 1/4 at 5.69 1/2. September down 2 1/2 at 5.86. December soft wheat down 2 1/4 at 6.09. Kansas City wheat, the May contract lower 1 3/4 at 5.70 1/4. July down 2 cents at 5.83 1/2. September down 1 1/2 at 5.98 1/2. December down 1 1/4 at 6.19 3/4. Stock market this morning, Dow up $290 at 41,765. The S&P up 65 at 5,642. The Nasdaq up $314 at 19,713. Gold up $3.60 an ounce at 2,924. Crude oil up 93 cents a barrel at 67.18. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Pluto, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Kochia ranks among the most troublesome weeds in fallow management systems. That's why Scorch EXT herbicide has received 24C registration for use in Kansas and Montana fallow. Scorch EXT controls Kochia plus other threatening broadleaf weeds like Canada and Russian thistle. Powered by Duplicent technology, this innovative three-way premix is developed in response to the rising storm of resistant Kochia, including types resistant to glyphosate, 2,4-D, or fluroxapyr. Take back control with Scorch EXT from New Farm.
When challenging conditions arise, we don't back down. We up our game. Outpacing the competition with innovations fueled by Bayer's R&D, keeping you equipped with an expanded portfolio, elite genetics, and additional local test plots. Channel leads the field, so you can rise above. See how you can save at channel.com/finance24. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
It's the Morning Blitz.
We're having a great time, couple of laughs, everything's nice.
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central.
All right. Well, Nick unfortunately has failed to join us at this point in time. I don't know where he is. I did mention that I did send the link a little bit late to him, but I figured he would be on at some point in time. We'll see if he joins us somewhere in our conversation. By the way, I know Max wanted to get to his trivia question. We did get an answer on the FNB Bank text line, 785-899-2220. Whether it's correct, I don't know. Someone said Dan Sorensen.
There we go. There it is.
So
Dan Sorensen. That's correct. Those are the three. Justin Reed, the last one, then obviously the Honey Badger and Dan Sorensen all left the Chiefs for the Saints for whatever reason as a safety. And then I also have an answer thanks to Coach Walker, he said they're listening on the road to Hutch right now. And he said the last time the Lady Eagles have won a state game was 2007.
Oh, I was so close.
What'd you say?
2008.
2008, yeah.
2008, 2009.
So I would have been 3 years old, Ross. How does that make you feel?
2007, Ross Volkmer, and that would have been winter time. So it would have been, let's see, that would have been March of 2007. Ross Volkmer would have been a senior in high school. Graduating a couple months later is where I would have been in March of 2007.
I would have been turning 3 the next month, right? Or wait, would I be turning 4 the next month? No, right? I was born in 2004.
Do your math.
Yeah, I was born in 2004, so I would have been turning
3.
Oh wait, no, that was last championship. I've been corrected. That was last championship was 2007. 2011. Did they win in 2000? I thought the last time they made it. Now I'm all confused.
I think they made it last in 2011. I think
that's what I heard.
14 years ago. And I don't think they won in the first. I could be wrong. I don't think they won.
Maybe they won in 2011.
You're wrong. Maybe I am. What do I know?
Well,
2011. Let's see. The winter of 2011. I was a senior in college at that time.
Okay, and I was 7.
So there you
go. I would have been 7.
Yeah, many moons have passed since this is.
Yes, 2011.
Best of luck to the Lady Eagles.
Yes, good luck
and safe travels down there to the Hutchinson Sports Arena. I will see you on Thursday. I'll wait.
I will see everyone there tonight.
There you go.
Hutch. So, gonna be fun.
No, that'll be good. That'll be good. So look forward to seeing all the state basketball and how it all gets cranking out today. Should be very interesting to see that. Was there any other? We're going to talk NFL free agency with Nick. Unfortunately, he did not join us today, but I was curious. Is there any other big moves? We talked. Well, I guess right at the top of the gate, the Chiefs did make. The Chiefs did make a couple of moves there yesterday as they were able to move some money around to help get Patrick Mahomes and those guys all situated and Jones, creating some more cap space because they were kind of in a cap salary, HE double hockey sticks, and they continue to move my funds around to make it work.
Yes. Well, yeah, that was also just to get, the offensive line. Moore we signed, and as well as Christian Fulton, who we signed yesterday, the cornerback from the Chargers, who, from everything I've read, is kind of a boomer bust kind of cornerback. And that's, well, a lot of it's because of poor help around him on the Chargers, from what I understand from Chargers fans talking about him. But he's a good coverage guy, and he fits in Spag's scheme from what people have said, from what I've seen from the Chiefs blitz as well. I think the only other move I would expect to see from the Kansas City Chiefs in the coming weeks is a veteran receiver. I think that they're going to sign one more veteran receiver, whether that's a guy like KJ Osborne or if they go bigger than that, I'm not sure. But I think that they are going to sign one more veteran receiver to a very small 1-year deal to kind of fill out that receiver spot, and then possibly draft one late in the draft. But my question would have been to Nick Athen would have been, what does this change about the Chiefs' approach to the draft? Now that they drafted or signed a left tackle, they've signed a cornerback. Do you draft a safety in the first round? Where do you go? Do you draft an interior defensive lineman? Do you draft edge? Where do you draft in the first round now that you have signed a left tackle and gotten some more depth at the cornerback position? From everything I also understand is that they really trust in the young safeties they have drafted over the last few years, with Shamari Connor possibly going back there, and then as well as Jaden Hicks, who I think was fantastic in his limited snaps in his rookie year. So it's interesting to see where they go in the draft, which is kind of the next step now for the Chiefs because of kind of a big free agency. I really didn't expect this many moves from the Chiefs in free agency. With where they were in the salary cap, but you've got these veteran leaders that are willing to push some money back or get paid up front, because who wouldn't want to get paid up front in a lot of these contracts to open up some salary space. And that's also, I said when Joe Thuney got traded, that the real value of trading Joe Thuney wasn't necessarily that pick they got back from the Bears. It was the $29 million they opened up in cap space to kind of sign some cornerback depth and get a new offensive lineman. So it's all interesting, and it all comes down to how the Chiefs can draft in late April.
I don't know if you mentioned this earlier or not, but there will not be DeAndre Hopkins coming back. He has signed with the Ravens, so he will not be. Sources say he's going to the Ravens, so no DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, no Hopkins. Obviously, Justin Reed going to the Saints. Tershawn Wharton, one of my personal favorite Chiefs. He was excellent for the Chiefs last year with 8.5 sacks from this regular season and the playoffs. He went to the Panthers, got a bag. Good for Turk. I'm happy for him because he deserved it. He was very, very underrated for his 2 stints with the Chiefs. And so he's got a big deal now in Carolina. That's another one of the guys that are departing. And that's pretty much the Chiefs side of the free agency news. The Broncos brought in Trent Shearfield, I believe, as a receiver. They got themselves another veteran receiver that I think honestly fits pretty well with what the Broncos do over there. I know I read that Sean Payton really wanted to get another veteran receiver for Bo Nix. And they're another team that's going to be really interesting to see how they draft. And maybe they might be a team that picks a running back, picks one of the top name running backs, because I think they love the run game so much and they have all these different guys, but they don't really have a number one guy that wants to run the rock. So that could be something interesting to watch for Bronco fans. But yeah, that's pretty much free agency in a quick 8-minute segment, but a lot of moving pieces around the league. Aaron Rodgers still hasn't signed, of course. Where do you think he's going to end up, Ross?
Aaron Rodgers? Oh gosh, I don't know.
Teams Pittsburgh or New York? The Giants. I should clarify.
Honestly, I feel like it's the Steelers to me have always been such a steady franchise. They've always done things a certain way. They've always been very meat and potatoes, I guess is the way I would put it, meat and potatoes. Aaron Rodgers is not meat and potatoes. He's herbal tea and ayahuasca or whatever the heck, that's what he is. I mean,
ayahuasca? Is that what you said?
Ayahuasca?
I like ayahuasca, though.
Ayahuasca, whatever. So I've never had it, so why would I know what it is?
No, but it's a good play on ayahuasca, because you get high off ayahuasca. Right. It's pretty good.
Ayahuasca. So he's more of that type of guy. That seems more like the New York Giants, doesn't it? It just seems more like the New York Giants to me.
But why would they do that?
Wasn't it that one on NFL off-season Hard Knocks where the Giants GM's son says you need to take Jalen Daniels or something like that?
He was right.
And he was right. I mean,
He was like,
that happened, and they let Saquon Barkley go to their rival to win a Super Bowl all in the same offseason.
I tell you what, if that's
perfect.
If that son was the GM, they probably have Saquon Barkley, Jalen Daniels. They're probably looking real good heading into this year. But instead, they have no Saquon Barkley and pretty much no one, and they might sign Aaron Rodgers. So what a change 1 year does for that team. It wasn't long ago that Giants team beat the Vikings in the playoffs with Daniel Jones, who's now where did he go? He went to the Colts. That's right. He went to the Colts. So, yeah, it's who knows? Who knows where Rodgers is going? I feel bad for whoever gets him, but I feel like it's going to be Pittsburgh.
Yeah. We'll see how it all pans out. There's still more deals to be done and things to be taken care of. But, yeah, I think probably the big news, at least around here locally, the Chiefs have redone some money with Mahomes and Chris Jones, to give themselves some more cap space to go out and make some more moves here in the coming weeks. So, all right, let's get to a timeout. We'll come back and we will be talking. I want to get into a little bit of golf. An interesting story yesterday surrounding one of the best players ever. We'll get to that next here on the Morning Blitz.
Case IH isn't just built by farmers, it's sold, supported, and serviced by them too. The men and women at your local Case IH dealerships understand what it takes to overcome the challenges of farming because they do it every day, just like you. That means they're the right people to help you find the equipment you need. Stop by and meet our farmers today or visit builtbyfarmers.com to learn more. Built by Farmers, Case IH. Stop into Colby Ag Center at 305 West Horton Avenue in Colby, Kansas today.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Farmers, what do you expect from your crop insurance agent and company? Knowledge, service, peace of mind knowing you have the coverage you need for your operation? This is what you deserve and more. This is what you have with Rain and Hail Insurance and the girls at the insurance agency in Goodland. Now is the time to stop by the office to review and change your coverage before the March 15th deadline. Stop in and see Roxanne, Susan, and Judy at the insurance agency, located at 1020 Main in Goodland, or call 899-5011 for your peace of mind.
Quick hits, bold takes, and all the action.
I'll take that action.
Welcome back to the Morning Blitz.
Also, before we get into some thoughts on Tiger Woods and his recent setback again, on the diamond yesterday, Colby Community College softball, a pair of wins over, once again, I don't know where this is, Dakota College at Bottineau. I don't know where that is. Look that up. Where is
Dakota? What'd you say, Dakota College?
I'm guessing it's in Bottineau, but where is that at?
North Dakota.
It's in North Dakota.
Bottineau, North Dakota.
Can you tell me in which portion or quadrant of North Dakota Bottineau is? I'd love to know.
Try my best.
Bottineau, Bottineau. Lady Trojans, by the way, won 12-0 and 16-1 over Dakota College at Bottineau.
Oh, it's at the tippity top.
No doubt, huh? Up there near Canada, huh?
It is. I mean, they've got. I bet some of their players are from Canada for sure.
I bet.
I mean,
bet.
it is.
I bet over half of them.
Wait,
are you in the right spot?
Now I'm seeing two different marks. Hold on. The first one says it's at the top. This one says it's at. Hold on.
All right. More research.
Okay, I'm going with the top. I see more that say it's at the top. There might be 3 Bottineaus in North Dakota. Who knows? I think it's at the top of North Dakota.
There's probably 3 Dakota colleges, and this one is...
Well, no, this says... I don't know. I'm going at the very top of Bottineau. Is where Bottineau, North Dakota
top
is.
Middle? Top
middle.
Okay.
Top middle.
Cool. Anyway, CCC's won 6 of their last 7 as Lady Trojan softball. They're 17-9. And they head into a Jayhawk doubleheader today at Butler this afternoon. Very good program Butler is. 40 Tech Northwest also in action today. They host Garden City for 2 here in Goodland. Colby Community College baseball, pair of wins in Colorado, sweeping Otero yesterday. Trojans win 5-3 and 11-0 They have won 5 of 6 and have gotten out of the hole. They're now 10-8 on the season for Trojan baseball. And friend of the program, Ryan Carter. So thank you, Coach Carter. Also, I don't know if Coach Walker's still listening, but I'm curious if he packed for Friday a Hawaiian shirt, because I think he should rock one on the sidelines on Friday in the state semifinal.
I will let you know if I get if there. Oh, he's typing, so he's listening.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
typing. I just saw the boat.
Please,
Did not.
Coach.
He said did
No.
not.
You know,
3 suits. It's business. It's
I
all
understand
business.
it,
3
you know,
suits.
but you could wear that underneath the suit, Coach. You could wear that underneath the suit. Just pop a little color. Oh, that'd be great.
he said three suits. So it's all business. There's no fun and games in Hutch, I guess.
Okay. All right. I understand. All right.
Yeah, you got to respect that. You got to respect that.
All right. Let's see here. Yesterday, news came down.
He said maybe if we go back to back.
Oh, okay. I love this one.
We got to get a Morning Blitz Hawaiian shirt for next season. Get a sponsored Hawaiian shirt for Coach Walker.
That would be hilarious. All right. Let news yesterday came across the ESPN ticker that Tiger Woods has injured himself again. He will not play the rest of 2025. As he mentioned, I think he ruptured his Achilles, I think is what it was. Yep. And so he has had surgery and is having to heal and not being played. Tiger Woods was massive in my day. I mean, he was in the middle. Is he as big to your generation, your age, as much as it was to mine?
Yeah, it's a little, but I think it's mostly because I really didn't. I knew about his prime, like I knew he was the best golfer. It wasn't like I was watching it all because I was too young, or if some of it was even before when I was born. But like, there's been kind of a gap between now and when Tiger Woods was in his prime, and that's kind of what still makes him such a valuable golfer in people's minds that are my age. Like, we know Tiger is the greatest, and I think everyone in my age would be a consensus that Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer of all time. And that's just because we saw a little bit of him, and there hasn't been someone that's close to him since then. And I guess Scottie Scheffler now has kind of been on a similar run, but he just hasn't been doing it for as long as Tiger has. So I think people at my age still would say that Tiger's the greatest of all time.
Well, statistically, it's still going to be Jack Nicklaus. He's still the Golden Bear. Is still going to be the best statistically, greatest of all time.
But I think people think that Tiger had the greatest run of all time,
and that could be true. But I think when it all comes down to when you're comparing the final numbers, when both guys are done, the Golden Bear will be the best. Because Tiger the funny thing about Tiger is he was humongous when I was growing up. I mean, everything he touched seemed to turn to gold. I remember where I was. I was driving back from St. Louis, Missouri. I was interning and I was helping out with the state tournament or state football title game coverage. We were driving back from St. Louis, and I remember hearing on the news that Tiger Woods had wrecked his SUV and gotten in that accident. And that was the one when, before he was still married. Not the one where he wrecked the Genesis one here. This is when his career fell apart. That one. His personal life and career kind of started to fall apart was on that day.
Yeah.
I remember it. And if you think about it, from that point forward, his personal life took a massive dump, and his playing has pretty much gone downhill from that. He's had a few points where he's been fine, but then, of course, he injured himself in that other auto accident where he rolled down the hill. It was a horrible deal. Amazing to even be alive, honestly. It's amazing to me to see how far he has fallen. And I don't want to say that. I almost want to say just Tiger, just give it up, man. Because every time you try to keep back up and get going, you just take time. You know what? Just play fun go play golf with your buddies for fun. Go play golf with Charlie, Sam. Go do that kind of stuff with your kids. Don't worry about playing professional. If you made enough money in your lifetime to be perfectly fine, you can hang it up now. It's okay. I don't think it's worth it anymore. It's just not.
His body's just failing him. His body's just failing him. But I mean, don't forget he won the Masters in 2019.
I know.
So I know you're saying, it was downhill from there, and it was.
Remember,
you're right.
2019 was also 6 years ago prior to COVID.
I know.
Listen,
I'm not saying he can do it again. I'm not saying he can do it again, but you were saying how his career went downhill and he never recovered. But he did, that the return to glory. One of the greatest calls in sports history, in my opinion, that Jim Nantz call when he won it again. But I mean, it's hard to argue. I mean, his prime was unreal. Like 281 weeks consecutively ranked as the number one golfer from 2005 to 2010. Like that is crazy. 683 weeks at the top.
You know who's kind of on a trend like that though?
Scotty. I know. That's what I'm saying. So that's why people are Scotty's huge for the game right now, because now you have a figure that is kind of consistently winning and consistently at the top.
Everybody else has someone to chase and someone to hate to an extent, if you want that. So, all right, we got to get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball high, deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Once again, plenty of state basketball. Tournament action gets going today. Wallace County Lady Wildcats in Colby at 8 o'clock Central Time tonight against Hanover. Quinter also tonight at 8 o'clock Central Time in Dodge City taking on South Gray. And, of course, Max will have coverage on 100.3 The Ride as the Colby Lady Eagles face off against Osage City. That's early tip time, though, 4 o'clock Central Time.
Yes, sir.
Between that. So, and best of luck to all the area teams and safe travels to your destination. So, what else you got for the walk-off today?
Not much. I'm excited to see everyone out in Hutch and go Lady Eagles.
Of course, don't forget a doubleheader of hoops as well. You've got K-State tipping off tonight at, what is, I believe, at 5 o'clock. Sorry, that'll be 6 o'clock Central Time against Baylor. That'll be on AM 790 KXXX. And Kansas basketball against UCF. That'll be at 7:30 Mountain, 8:30 Central Time.
Forgot about that.
That's on the Deuce, ESPN Deuce, and, of course, Flower Country 97.9. So how you feeling about that game?
Rock Chalk. Last time it was a close game between UCF, but we didn't have KJ or DeJuan. So maybe that makes it better. Maybe it makes it worse. You never know. But Rock Chalk regardless.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us. For Max, I'm Ross. We're back again tomorrow. Max will join us remotely from Hutch. I'll still be here at least for another 24 hours before I head down to Hutch myself. Have a great Wednesday. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Going to be 70 degrees in some spots. We'll see you tomorrow here in the Blitz.